Time now for Reporters Roundtable to put the headlines in perspective. Ross and Bud are back. Berna Dean's actually off this week, so Ross, will start with you. And Republicans are pretty silent on Trump's Twitter attack against those 4 women members of Congress. State Rep Matt Krause from Fort Worth, Republicans like really the only one who's kind of been out critical about that. Does that surprise you at all?
It surprises me a little bit. The state Republicans have been quiet. It's not my fight, move on, move on. That's not completely surprising. A lot of the congressional Republicans, however, have been very quiet about it. A few of them spoke out. Pete Olson from Sugar Land, which is one of the most diverse districts in the state and in the country. Will Hurd, whose district takes in most of the Texas-Mexico border, both spoke out, but everybody else has been pretty quiet.
Yeah, and Hurd's obviously, Bud, in a tight race. Krause is over in your area. I mean, is he out of step?
Matt Krause in Fort Worth, and to be exact, what he said, he tweeted that it was terrible that the crowd started chanting, "Send her back, send her back." That made him sick. He's a decent human being. He thought that looked like an awful thing for the crowd to say, so he tweeted that it was terrible. But it was interesting that hardly anyone else commented about the behavior of the crowd. Whether or not you agree with the president, it seems like they at least could have been upset at the behavior of the crowd. Here in Texas, we have thousands of families in South Texas who have lived here longer than Trump's ancestors have lived here since they came from Scotland and Germany.
Let's switch off, Ross, to the U.S. Senate race. Councilwoman Amanda Edwards from Houston is in. Tomorrow is when Royce is going to announce that he is in, sources are telling us. Is John Cornyn really that beatable? Democrats are lining up.
They're lining up, but they all have local reputations. And the challenge for everybody in this race, from M.J. Hager to Amanda Edwards to Royce West, all of them have local bases, and they're going to have to build statewide bases. And the Democrats have to do it before March because they got to get out of a primary. So we're going to have one Dallas candidate, a couple of Houston candidates, a Williamson County, Central Texas candidate, probably a few others. Right now, Cornyn can sit back and watch.
45 seconds here, Bud. Can any of these people be viable, do you think, and raise the money?
Some of this is like the gubernatorial primary where Lupe was the Dallas candidate, won over a Houston candidate. But they're all just trying to hitch on to what they think will be a big Democratic year.
Yeah, and bottom line for this is it, can they raise the money, though, do you think?
Texas is still a 48-42 Republican state. There's no sign John Cornyn can be beaten. They'll have to raise, none of them will have $80 million. Do
you think, Ross, in the final seconds here, too, that any of them are viable?
You never say never. Beto O'Rourke started from nowhere out in El Paso and rose $80 million. So we'll see.
You never know. Exactly. Good deal, guys.
You can pay your way in from El Paso.
Good deal. Thanks, guys. Thank you for watching as well. ABC's This Week begins in just a moment right here on WFAA. We'll see you again next Sunday. Hope you have a good week.